Question 69. Testis, epididymis and descent of testis. Testis is a reproductive organ and is also an endocrine gland. The interstitial cells produce testosterone. It's contained in the scrotum. They are ovoid in shape and they have upper and lower extremities, medial and lateral surfaces, anterior and posterior borders or margins. The testis and epididymis are covered with a serous membrane named visceral layer of tunica vaginalis in purple. And under the visceral layer of tunica vaginalis, you have tunica albuginea and tunica vasculosa are found underneath. The tunica albuginea is a dense fibrous membrane. It continues into the mediastinum and to the mediastinum testis, and it contains arete testis and vessels. The tunica albuginea gives off septa, which divides the testis into the lobules of testis. The tunica vasculosa is a plexus of blood vessels which lines the inner surface of these septa. The lobules of testis are about 200 to 300 in numbers. They are pyramidal in shape. They are composed of seminiferous tubules and then convoluted seminiferous tubules are continuous into the straight seminiferous tubules, which terminate in arete testis, a network of spaces contained in mediastinum. And from arete testis we get efferent ductules, and which perforates tunica albuginea and enter the head of epididymis. The epididymis is a reservoir of sperm. It is contained in the scrotum and is placed along the posterior border of testis. It is subdivided into head, body and tail. The head is connected to the upper extremity of testis by efferent ductules. It is composed of coiled efferent ductules, which opens into duct of epididymis. And this is a simple convoluted tube which forms the body and tail. And the tail of epididymis is connected to the inferior extremity by areolar tissue. And epididymis is also covered with the visceral layer of tunica vaginalis. The blood supply of testis and epididymis is from the testicular artery, from the abdominal aorta. The nerve supply is by the testicular plexus, where parasympathetic fibers are derived from vagus nerve. Lastly, we have the descent of testis. Here we have 8 weeks. This is the gonads. And we have a transabdominal and an inguinoscrotal phase. And found in the transabdominal phase. They travel from the posterior abdominal wall down to the deep inguinal ring. And the descent through the inguinal canal usually occurs during the 26th week and takes 2 to 3 days. The androgens control the process, and as you can see here, the transverse fascia becomes internal spermatic fascia. The internal oblique muscle becomes the cremaster muscle and fascia, and external oblique aponeurosis becomes external spermatic fascia.